Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation on creating an employee database management system as a project to partially fulfill the requirements for the course of computer programming. I am Chastine, Lyka, Antoinette, Jade, Dorado, together with,
I am Cielo Aureada.
And I am Veah Ezra Quilacio.
and we are Group 9. We will explain the project we have created where we combine the power of technology with the principles of effective data management. Throughout this presentation, we will delve into the important details of the project, discussing the essential features and functionalities that an employee database management system should encompass. So let's begin with an overview of our project, which will be presented by Princess Cielo Aureada.
Employee Database Management System is a software application designed to manage and maintain employee data in an organization. An database management system is a software application that helps organizations store, manage, and maintain employee data in centralized location. The system typically includes features such as employee profiles, contact information, job history, salary details, performance reviews, and others important HR-related data. It allows authorized personnel to access and update employee data securely and efficiently. An employee database management system is designed to provide authorized personnel with secured and efficient access to employee data. The system typically includes features such as users authentication, access controls, and data exception to ensure the employee data is only accessible to authorized individuals. Then, the system provides a user-friendly interface that simplifies the process of managing employee information. An employee database management system is designed to provide a user-friendly interface that simplifies the process of managing employee information. The system typically includes features such as easy-to-use menus and entry forms and search capabilities to make it easy for HR personnel and managers to navigate the system and manage employee data. It streamlines HR operation by automizing many of the manual tasks involved in employee data management. An employee database management system streamlines HR operation by automating many of the manual tasks involved in employee data management. The system is designed to reduce the time and effort required to perform HR related tasks and improve the overall efficiency of the organization. Next slide. The system automates many of the manual processes associated with employee data management, reducing the workload of HR personnel, improving the accuracy and consistency of the data which is associated with industrial engineering principles. In the context of employee data management, engineering principles can be applied to streamline and automate various manual processes. The system can be designed to efficiency, collect, store, process, and analyze employee data, reducing the need of HR personnel to perform repetitive and time-consuming tasks.
I am Veah Ezra to be the one who will discuss the objective of our project. The following objective of this project is: first, to make it easier to keep company employee records; to create a database with good design to hold employee data; to provide the company's management with fully functional reports; to provide an all-inclusive strategy for managing employee data. Next slide, please. To maintain a record of each employee's attendance at the workplace. To provide a design of a web-based HR management system that satisfies criteria for project management, leave administration, report production for performance reviews, ESS, and employee training. Lastly, to create an interface that is simple for user to use to interact with the system. With the database management, it becomes easier to keep track information like attendance, salary, and performance and sync it to the business platform. It is an application developed in Python 3.11 and database use is MySQL. It contains employee information like employee ID, name, surname, and age. It is an easy to use application and has a user-friendly interface. It is totally built the administrative end, which means that only the admin have access to change or modify any records. So this makes it safe and reliable application to use. The main aim of developing this application was to reduce the errors that occurs in the manual system. One can search the details easily by just entering employee's ID. In earlier system, there was not such a facility to do so. All the details are stored in an MySQL database. It is easy to update any employee details. All the employee records are integrated and so this make it user-friendly and easy to use application.
So let's proceed to the methodology. This section explained the application and function that were utilized by the project proponents and how they were implemented in the project. The first application that we use is the Visual Code. This application is a free and open source code editor developed by a Microsoft. It is designed to support multiple programming languages including JavaScript, Python, C++, and many more. The primary use of VS Code is for developing and editing code, and in this project, the members use this application to edit and run as well the program they created. The second one is Python 3.11. This is the latest version of the Python programming language. It is the successor to Python 3.10 and comes with a range of new features, improvements, and bug fixes. Python 3.11 can provide access to new features and improvements that can help people write better, faster, and more efficient code. In this project, the members use this application for the source code editor, which is the Visual Studio Code to recognize the source code, which is Python. Lastly, the Lastly is the SAMP. This is a free and open source cross-platform web server solution stack, which includes Apache Web Server, MySQL database, and PHP programming language. It is used to develop and test web application on a local machine before deploying them on a live server. In this project, the members use this application to simplify the process of setting up a local web development environment and enable them to focus on writing and testing codes. The members utilize this application for having a database and recording the inputs when running the program. So let's proceed to the functions that we use in this project. The first one is add employee. This function allows the user to create a new employee record. It assists the users to enter details such as employee ID, name, email, phone number, address, position, and salary. It performs validation checks to ensure the uniqueness of the employee ID and name. Check employee name. This function checks if an employee with a given name already exists in the MPREC 2023 table. It takes the employee name as input and queries the database to find any matching records. The third one is check employee ID. This function checks if an employee with a given ID already exists in the MPREC 2023 table. It takes the employee ID as input and queries the database to find any matching records. The fourth one is display employee. This function displays all the employee records stored in the MPREC 2023 table. It fetches all the rows from the table and prints the details of each employee, including ID, name, email, phone number, address, position, and salary. The fifth one is update employee. This function allows the user to update an existing employee record. It assists the users to enter the employee ID for the record to be updated. If the ID exists, the function asks for a new email address, phone number, and address. It performs validation checks on the emails and phone numbers. Next one is promote employee. This function promotes an employee by increasing their salary. It assists the users to enter the employee ID for the record to be promoted. If the ID exists, the function asks for the amount by which the salary should be increased. It fetches the current salary from the database, calculates the new salary, and updates the corresponding employee record with the new salary. The next one is remove employee. This function allows the user to delete an employee record. It assists the users to enter the employee ID for the record to be deleted, and if the ID exists, the function deletes the corresponding employee record from the MPREC 2023 table. The next one is the search employee. This function allows the users to search for an employee record based on the employee ID. It assists the users to enter the employee ID to search for. If the ID exists, the function retrieves the employee's details from the database and displays them. Lastly, menu. This function displays the main menu of the employee management database system. It presents various options such as adding a new employee, viewing employee records, updating records, promoting employees, removing records, searching for records, and exiting the program. Based on the user's input, it calls the respective function to perform the desired operation.
My name is Ysabella Nicole Menia, and now I am going to explain to you our program or source code. To run our program, ensure that SUMP and local hosts are open for the database to function properly. Next slide po. Attach the ems.py and SQL files to the coding application. After that, we can now run the program. To run the program, click on the triangle sign located in the upper right corner of the application. Once clicked, the program will start and the terminal will show that the database program is functioning. On the screen, next slide po, you can see the options that are available to choose from. It includes option number 1 to add new employee, option number 2 to view employee record, option number 3 to update employee record, option number 4 to promote employee and increase salary, option number 5 to remove employee record, option number 6 to search employee record, option number 7 exit or to end the program. After that, we can choose among this set of options. Next slide po. If we try to input option number 1, to ensure smooth processing of employee information, we must first enter the required details for each employee. This includes their employee ID, employee name, and employee email address, which must be verified before we can proceed. Once the email address has been verified, we can then add the employee's phone or contact number and verify it as well. Finally, we will enter the employee's address, position, and salary to complete their profile. After it has been successfully added, we will now proceed to option 2. Next slide po. Option 2 allows us to access employee record database. Next slide po. Where we can view the most up-to-date information on all employees. This database contains all the necessary details such as employees' profiles, current positions, and salaries. Next slide po. Moving on to option number 3, which allows us to update employee records. Next slide po. To update an employee's record, we will need to provide the following details: the employee ID, the new employee ID if applicable, the new phone or contact number, and the new employee address. With this information, we can ensure that the employee's records are kept up to date and accurate, which is essential for effective HR management. Next slide po. Once we have entered all the necessary information to update the employee record, we can confirm that the update has been successful. To do this, we can use option 2 to access the employee record database again and check that the new information has been correctly updated. Upon reviewing the record, we should be able to see that the changes have been made and the employee's details are now up to date. Next slide po. Moving on to option 4, which allows us to promote an employee and increase their salary. Next slide po. To do this, we simply need to enter the new employee ID and the new salary amount. Once the promotion and salary increase have been processed, we will receive a confirmation that the employee has been successfully promoted and their salary increased. Next slide po. We can then use option 2 to access the employee record database and confirm that the salary increase has been applied to the employee's profile. Next slide po. Moving on to option number 5, which allows us to remove an employee record from the database. Next slide po. To do this, we simply need to enter the employee ID of the employee's record we want to delete. Once the employee record has been successfully deleted, we will receive a confirmation that the employee details have been removed from the database. Next slide po. To confirm that the record has been successfully deleted, we can use option 2 to access the employee record database and check that the employee's details are no longer present. Next slide po. Next is option number 6, which allows us to search for an employee record in the database. Next slide po. To search for an employee record, we only need to enter the employee ID of the employee we are looking for. Once we have entered the employee ID, the system will retrieve the corresponding employee record and display it on the screen. Next slide po. And lastly, it is the option number 7 to exit or end the program. Next slide po. Next slide po. Here is the local host where we can recheck the database of the employee records is recorded appropriately and upgraded.
That wraps up our presentation. We truly hope that this session has delivered valuable insights and provided you with deeper understanding of our project. Thank you and have a great day.